And I'm talking today with #1 Amazon bestselling author, John Browning. John, thanks for being here today.
Happy to be here.
Well, John, you are the #1 Amazon bestselling author. Your book is Build a Life, Not a Portfolio, because you are very interested in helping people manage finances well, save for retirement and things, but also build a life today and equip them for whatever they want to do in life. And you do that through a lot of conversations. We talked about that in another episode. This chapter 4 is where you talk about your plan of action. Unpack that for us. What is that plan of action and why is it important?
Well, there's two ways to look at it, right? One is the plan of action that we're building, and the other is the plan of action that I take when I meet with clients. So that particular chapter in the book deals with both, but it really kind of tells people what to expect if they're working with a quality, experienced financial advisor. And what I find is that folks tend to walk into the office, come on the Zoom call, wherever it is that they meet, and they're just like, fix me. Well, what do you do before you build anything? So I know I've built a couple sheds in my time, a garage one time, and we did a whole big building project for our church one time.
Yeah.
And one of the major things is, and of course, number one, you got to figure out, where the funding's coming from, right? But when they actually got to building, we had to take inventory. What is it that we have to work with? And do we need some other things to fill in the gap? So if we don't currently have all the bricks that we need, how are we going to get those bricks? If we don't currently have the cement we need, how are we going to get that?
Yep.
Where is it all coming from? And taking inventory of that's the first step. And that's where we often actually eliminate folks that will not be a good fit to work with us here at Guardian Rock, is if they come to the meeting and they're not willing to or don't have or haven't at least kind of gathered up like the 401k statements, the credit card statements, the checking account, and have a basic understanding of what materials we have to start working with. It's okay if there's not much.
Right.
That's
right.
Because that's what we do. We help build into something that is your best life. That's okay. But that's a big part of the process, is just getting started and having the inventory of what you have. That's step number 1.
Wow. Your plan of action. And I really think that, John, is brilliant, because that is really what stops a lot of people. Because what you do, and anytime somebody meets with a financial advisor, I mean, it's like going to the dentist for a root canal, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to go there because they're going to make me go get all my statements and they're going to make me. And that's just part of the process, but I'm sure you make it easier for people. But understanding you've got to have that foundation, those tools, those resources ready to know, how many tools do I have? Do I have enough bags of concrete? Do I have enough labor? What do I have to work with? And what's the dream, right? Are you building a shed or are you building a 2-story cathedral? Well, that makes a difference. So it's those conversations you have, right?
And here's the thing, right? Back when we used to go to malls, right? We kind of don't
All
do
right, that dates us. Yeah. The mall.
But I was a hunter. I wasn't a shopper. My wife was a shopper. My girls were shoppers. I was a hunter. I knew what I wanted. I'm going to go there. So I would always go straight to the map.
Yep.
What's the most important thing that you looked for first when you went to that map?
Yeah. Where am I?
Where am I? You don't know where you are until you gather all that stuff up. And it has to, the relationship with a financial advisor has to start from a place of, trust and understanding. And there is zero judgment here, because in my relatively long lifetime here, I've seen about everything. I understand that, hey, maybe, I certainly didn't make all the very best decisions in my life either. And so there's absolutely no judgment, but I can't help you I can't help you well unless we have all of the information, including what your values are, Even
Yeah.
if you think I might be judgmental about what your values are, I'm not. I will absolutely never be judgmental about that. It's the way you're made
That's
is
right.
what your values are.
And they're
I'm just
okay.
here to help you get there.
That's right. Yeah. And they're just they're your personal values. And it's okay. What do you want to achieve? You know, you may find somebody who wants to buy a $3 million yacht. Okay. You may find somebody who wants to give $3 million to the ministry. Okay. Those are just objectives. How do you get there? You need a plan of action. And to develop that plan of action, you got to know where you are, you know. I just see that on your map, that yellow or that arrow says you are here.
That's right.
And but you have to have a starting point. You have to know your resources, and you have to start understanding your destination. Those 3 steps are probably a lot more.
There's a lot more. I would say that the number one roadblock that we get to when we're at this stage in the planning process is that whole thought on the client's part that I don't really want to admit that I want to travel the world in a yacht because he might think less of me.
Yeah.
And exactly. So then they end up, you know, if we base it off of that, that's really literally, that's basing it off of a lie. That's what you're passionate about. You want to sail the 7 seas in your own yacht, then you're going to be disappointed if I build a plan that gives you a rowboat.
That's right. That's right. I would give them a plan that has a cabin for John.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all for it.
Feet on there.
You buy the yacht, I'll come along as your rope boy or whatever. I don't even know anything about yachts, but no, but I think that's right. Too many people hide behind what they really desire because they think it's wrong or that might offend. No, what do you want? And John can help you get there and enjoy your life in the process, which is really one of the key differentiators between Guardian Rock Wealth and many others is John really works with you to help you enjoy life now, use money now, and be able to use it down the road for retirement, for college, for legacy, for whatever. But you got to know what you're working with, and you got to have a plan of action, right?
Yep.
And so conversations is how all of this happens. And if you've been listening through this whole series, you know, that is like a theme, is conversation, because that's really where John starts. And a lot of people come to him for financial advice, and he won't give it until he has conversations with you because he doesn't know. It's malpractice for John to say, well, you need to be in this or you need to be in that. That's malpractice unless he understands who you are and what are you trying to accomplish. And okay, now let's create a plan of action for you, because one of the recent episodes we did on the last chapter of your book was the snowflake theory. Everybody's different. They all have different perspectives. John works with you individually or as a family to understand your perspective, your values, how you think about money, and to help you create a plan of action. That's what they do. So let me encourage you to reach out to John at guardianrockwealth.com. Request a copy of his #1 Amazon bestselling book, Build a Life, Not a Portfolio, and request a meeting with him. Have a conversation with John Browning and see how he can help you maybe get that yacht or whatever else it might be that you're wanting in life. John Browning, thanks for being here. Another great conversation.
All right. We'll see you next time.